Okay class, today I would like to start the day by having you shout out words or phrases that you affiliate with the League of Legends community.
Toxic,
Irritating,
overly defensive,
Flaccid.
immature,
unproductive,
Makes me want to text my ex and tell her she's a hoe.
argumentative, angry,
Doctor prescribed me some more Xanax cause I'm playing solo queue today.
Ravi, what the hell are you talking about?
Eat a chode Cynthia you prude. Pissy pants enemas, chortle fest, flame tards, nip liquor.
Okay young Rav, that's enough, we get it. Good job class. And now what is the golden rule when trying to climb?
eat all the toxicity liquors that will arouse your anger right when the game starts.
Very good, stick to what you have been taught and you will be climbing just like me in no time. But today I figured we would cover a case study of what happens when you decide not to follow this rule. Let's cover the relevant characters in this exercise to show some of the more common personality types you will find. There were 3 relatively normal human beings in this group. But then we have the AFKE girl cringe ass wannabe who types weird things when she isn't too tabbed out watching lolly hentai on the other screen. Then there is the I play vain because I think my pepperoni schlong is much larger than it actually is, so I just feed and flame others for my mistakes instead. Then let's move down to Mombanger 420, who you will see has the maturity level of a horny newborn sea monkey plaguing chat with things you didn't want to know and very unstable in his behavior. Moving on, you have this guy who stays quiet during the game because he works 60 hours a week cleaning toilets at a shitty Burger King just to provide for his whining wife, who is always tired from banging the gardener when he is at work. So he plays 200 years dogshit broken champs like this tin twat because he just needs a win in life and doesn't care if he has to drop his dignity a bit to get it. Purple Drank Brand is irrelevant because he goes AFK anyways. And then we have the typical bot lane duo who feed off of each other's immature toxicity like they have a fetish for eating crappy comebacks out of each other's anuses just so they can regurgitate them out of their own anus, but only shittier a few seconds later. Now my boss man called and said he would pay me extra today if I taught the kids about buff, but I had one too many roofies involved in my tequila tantrum last night, if you know what I am saying, and now Professor Ravi is rocking a hangy, so I'm gonna get some shut-eye behind my desk and let the TV teach today.
Buff is a loyalty program authorized by Overwolf, and it rewards you for simply playing your favorite games like League of Legends, Fortnite, CSGO, Valorant, and so much more. How do you get these rewards? Leave Buff on in the background and play. It's that simple. Over time, you will earn Buff coins to redeem awesome items such as game keys, gift cards, skins, and gaming hardware. With over 100,000 games played every week and hundreds of thousands of Buff coins earned, play for fun and earn for real is more than just a motto. It's a way of life. Download the app today and get rewarded for what you do best.
You heard the man with the liquid sex of a voice. Download Buff to get buff when you play games, because being buff is hot and girls like buff guys and guys like buff guys, so go get buff so you can get buff, or at least buff in your wallet ween size, and let's get into this toxic piss pit of a game. Okay, so I am playing, but grandmother, what big teeth you have, Warwick, because I originally intended to show how this roided puppy can build this new item, Gore Drinker, allowing it to politely tell death to piss off, lick my nips in any situation. But the theme of this video quickly changed, as you can see from my support's first comment showing that she is absolutely some 87-pound pink-haired e-girl face permanently stuck in a hegao expression from doing it too much. Chatty Cathy jailbait stereotypically Yumi player, and I side with Morgana's initial reaction as a chain of negative IQ comments follows until freaking Mombanger 420 makes his debut into all chat by introducing himself as a registered sex offender in all 50 states where no hole is safe. Now, in terms of the actual gameplay, despite me preparing to tell a scary story to the tin twat but messing up the timing on the punchline, the game gets off to a good start because 2 is typically greater than a dumb 1, and so I earn an early payday up top. And my half chub gets further enlarged when I see the Gosu fangirl snatch a double down bot, only for that levitating cat to ruin it by cringe queefing out a Nuzzle's corpse in chat, which sparks an unfriendly reaction from both dead bitches as well as our own teammate, accompanied by your casual death threat, and then plot twist, we find out that the e-girl has a wiener. Fast forward 20 seconds and Mombanger 420 enlightens us that this garbage conversation is extending outside of just all chat, and like a typical League of Legends player he responds by running it down mid. Then we get some much needed character development in the story showing that Mombanger is a titty licker with a supposedly small dick, but then he says something that worries me when I see him compare his ADC's IQ to room temperature. Then one more example of why this set support has a room temperature IQ. Quick break from the juicy drama chaos for some gameplay as I get into a bit of a quarrel with Mr. Tin Titty, which gets steamy when he takes me into his underwater closet to make sweet sweet love to me, and something about me edging with death and then him flashing me just turns me ripe inside, so I jump his bones and feverishly eat him out. Enter Brand into the conversation with what Google Translator tells me means, Go throw your school you ugly bastard. And I have no clue who he is talking about, but Morg seemingly thinks Mombanger 420's life is a joke as Ezreal conforms to making some lame ass comment against Yumi before being told to shut up and crafting a response that shows just how easily a reportable offense can slip through Riot's low dick effort they have set up in monitoring for this kind of behavior. I decide to make a trip down bot to try and spread some cheddar cheese on the ass of these toxic Tommies like they are crackers, but Vayne goes straight braindead status thinking she can trash talk the tower out of attacking her, which needless to say reveals her true intelligence and, as you probably guessed, does not go unnoticed by the two dickheads she is laning against. I head mid because my screen is looking like it's about to go full menstrual from this purple drank burn victim low in health, so I jam my Q key like an addict until it finally lets me dash, but of course this douche canoe crying about his lost cigar has to steal my thunder. Then I decide to let Lollycat latch onto these furry nips for a ride down to Pound Town, only to see that Tumble Tits is off filming for her montage called I Think I Am Better Than Bronze, which puts her in the twinkle shit in timeout and leaves that pissy prom queen bleeding everywhere as I shove a steam engine up my asshole and ask my kitty to do something dramatic before doing a munch and crunch combo for the kill. But I guess dying a greedy and unworth death warrants some more trash talk from Gimpy Gosu, to which Ezreal kindly informs us to the location of Vayne's Nan, before showing me why his name literally translates to I love suicide. This leaves his shitty sidekick alone to launch skill shots into the wrong galaxy, causing her to stop and let a giggle out in pure embarrassment, so I emote and let Yumi win chime the slut before taking a thick bite out of that ass. This gets the red juices flowing on my screen, which in turn makes me one horny coked up grandma wolf, so I very methodically pull my foreskin back and then jam my rub stub into my flash key to send that taunting bitch home. Oh, then I put that toxic twinkle shit back in his own coffin one more time since I was already in the area. But out of all the cancer chat going on, the biggest reportable offense of the game was this damn Gromp who decided it was necessary to leave his post just to fucking interrupt my back with one lickety split before returning back to his little shitter's corner. Anyways, I see that weaponized Demogorgon trying to murder a species that I heard is so endangered only 2 of them are currently still on the rift, so I see if Aladdin's cat can shine some lights his way to scare him off, and then I feverishly chase before learning firsthand that you can actually miss a Warwick ult. But the dumb dragonfly is all tired and bleeding heavily out of his asshole, so I don't stop the music to make my girl Rihanna proud, but also to collect a diminished paycheck as our ADC is now pinging our jungler for God knows what. And now, since this video was originally supposed to be about how stupidly strong Warwick is with Gore Drinker and a latch licky kitty reverse cowgirling you all game, please enjoy this next play as a personal rendition of how painfully awful gameplay can be countered by exploiting stupid ass decisions by Riot. As you see, I just continuously get myself caught out in situations that should invert my anus on repeat, only to come back like a vengeful Lazarus straight out of the ghetto grave. Drooling bloody nut comes out of my giant grandmother teeth until all of these little beanie babies are dead. And in the midst of that last shitfest, you might have noticed Vayne blindly run in as if her power went out right after right-clicking on their nexus, because nothing else can explain that poor excuse for a decision, but this still prompted some chatter out of her, to which their Ezreal drops a super fat knowledge bomb insinuating that our shed tears somehow contribute toward fighting the water crisis in Africa. But in case you thought that was the dumbest comment of this clip, Vayne responds with a resounding, "Good for me, don't living in there." Anyways, I run bot to try and salvage the single file line my teammates are forming to be sent back to Fountain as the Mafia man takes his turn, but Yumi, Sona and I run in as I fatally bite the bride to death before focusing my attention on this dude swinging around the world's largest spiked testicle on a stick. He takes Belle Delphine into the closet and I just can't not jerk my ween a bit thinking about what's going on in there, and I guess we will never know anything more than that it was too much for that man to handle. I see Project Beedrill running towards his blue side ready to abuse some dogs, so I make sure he has more than 3 wolves waiting for him when he hops in before taking a thick bite out of that bug's ass and scratching him until he dies. Then I undoubtedly prove that this is my first time playing the reworked Warwick, as I unsuccessfully try to use my Q from over the wall a good 34 times before getting impatient and running around just to eat a few servings of ass whoopin' from the peanut gallery. That said, there's a reason I spent 3 hours before the game lubing my body up in catnip, and that reason was so that I can run around shouting shabba dabba ding dong without worrying about the proper way to play this game, until all that is left for me to do is flash long jump pub stomp bite fear and piss on this toxic twinkle shit until he gives me some cash. Of course, Gosu goes straight back to typing, and their bot laners incriminate themselves as being participants in the OK Boomer Girl Simp War, which honestly doesn't surprise me one bit. Anyways, one thing leads to another, and before you know it my dead wolf balls are plastered onto the floor as the toxicity flames onto new heights as Morgana now joins the club of people who have been granted the privilege to play on the PBE for supposedly exemplary behavior in their games, only to act like this, proving that Riot needs to re-evaluate how they evaluate their players' actions in this game. And for once our Vayne doesn't type a misspelled or poorly proofread sentence in response, but rather just goes down bot lane to kill them instead, which is how I would advise you to channel your toxicity if I was voted president. But of course she just can't resist letting her type ego come out a bit, which prompts the standard, "You only killed us in this team game because your team helped you," excuse followed by an English lesson by none other than Micro Penis Michael over here. And despite me agreeing with his grammatical statement that question marks do indeed belong at the end of questions, I cannot advocate for his choice of language during some of his comments, so in response to this behavior I shove a steaming teapot up my dick hole, because in some perverse universe doing so gives him a bloody nose and I am like a horny Edward Cullen when I smell blood, so I wait for him to shift shitter the wall and then I use my long jump ability with the accuracy of a flaccid donkey dick for a second time, but we still kill the malding moron. And of course he is in 40 seconds timeout, which is just long enough for him to point out what I did poorly in the fight that killed him. But I guess this Morgana is not done letting me make a very easy case for her accounts being suspended when she enlightens the group that she in fact knows Vayne's family and their sentiment toward her because she is quote, a worthless piece of shit, and I guess that is the showstopper and this man's career card to be played in 3rd grade when arguments get to that point based off of Ezreal's reaction. Oh, and Yumi's Nan is dead as well. Anyways, I am now flying around the map like I'm a damn Model 3 Tesla, and unluckily for this dumb dragonfly I can track down the scent of a useless bloody tampon from a mile away, so I say, surprise bitch, I still don't know how the hell to use my Q properly, so I will just sit here in this purple jail cell timeout for a bit and think about my actions. Then I let Morgana get on her soapbox and stun me 4,600 times before asking if she is done yet, slurping a few kitten queefs to heal me up, all while ignoring the little fizzle ticklers that toxic blonde shithead is firing into me before finishing the job on the death fetish bride. And considering their brand did indeed AFK and their jungler either found a mom to bang or a hole to stick his microscopic pork sword into, we win the game in what I can only hope will show some person of value at Riot exactly what their automated systems are currently not catching in terms of the toxicity and the hatred that people are attempting to spread on their platform. And that, my friends, is all chat syndrome. Please like, subscribe and blackmail your mom's entire book club into watching my videos if you enjoyed this one, as I will be back with more soon. Shout out to the sugar daddies throwing dollar bills at me on Patreon like I am some shameless stripper, because that is exactly what I am. Pet your dog, jerk your ween, don't say these hateful things in chat, and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.